Vicente Almeida installed hidden cameras throughout the house to monitor the new maid. He thought she would deceive him and abuse his trust, but what he discovered in the recordings changed his life forever. Vicente Almeida was a billionaire, owner of a construction company worth $800 million. He had everything money could buy: mansion in São Paulo, imported cars, bank accounts he could never spend. But there was one thing money couldn't buy: trust. A year ago, he had become a bitter, suspicious, paranoid man, and he had reasons. He had fired 5 maids in 6 months. The first stole jewelry. The second tried to sell photos of his son to a gossip magazine. The third, well, she posted on Instagram that she worked for a famous billionaire and nearly caused a security issue. It was just him and his son Pedro. Before the story, subscribe to our channel. We give life to memories and voices that never existed but carry the wisdom of an entire lifetime. The baby was 1 year and 2 months old, still not walking, barely smiling, and Vicente, to be honest, didn't know how to raise him properly. He was good at closing deals but terrible at changing diapers. Until the agency sent Camilla. She arrived on Monday morning, simple, modest, with the smile of someone who had no ill intentions or of a very good actress. "Good morning, Mr. Vicente. Wow, what a beautiful house. And this baby is so cute." Vicente looked at her suspiciously. No one was that friendly just like that, without some hidden motive. "You'll start in the kitchen, then the living room. Don't touch my things in the office. Don't pick up a boy without my permission. Understand?" "I understand, sir," she replied, still smiling. He went to the office to work but couldn't focus because, for the first time in 2 months, he heard his son laugh. He walked to the living room door and peeked in. Camilla was wiping the floor while singing. The butterfly in the kitchen is making sport it. Chocolate for the godmother. And Pedro, sitting in the playpen, was clapping and laughing. That delicious, childish laugh that Vicente no longer remembered. The sound of touched something in him. But it wasn't joy, it was fear. Why is my son attaching to her so quickly? What's her interest in this? That same day, he called the security company. "I want hidden cameras, living room, kitchen, baby's bedroom, hallways, everywhere. I want to see her every move." "Sir, is that legal?" The operator hesitated. "It's my house, my son, my decision. Install them quickly." During the first week, Vicente watched Camilla like a detective through his phone. He saw everything. She cleaned the house while singing, talked to Pedro as if he understood her, taught him to clap, wave, try to stand. Nothing suspicious, nothing stolen, no secret photos. But there was something strange. On Thursday, while cleaning the office, she found an old family photo on the shelf. Vicente's parents, him as a child, all together at Christmas in the 90s. She picked up the photo, looked at it tenderly, and whispered to herself, unaware she was being recorded, "You have the same look as him, and the same kind heart." Ziver one. Vicente froze. "Him? Him? Who?" "His father." "How?" "She knew his father," he continued, watching the recordings obsessively, and then came the bombshell. On Friday afternoon, while bathing Pedro, she said softly, "Your mom was beautiful, you know. Pedrinho and your grandpa was the most generous person I ever knew. You'll grow up with his heart, Grandpa." She was talking about Vicente's father, He turned the house upside down looking for anything her documents, ID, proof of, address, any clue. And he found it in her bag. Yes, he rummaged, knowing it was wrong, an old silver locket. When he opened it, he nearly collapsed. Inside was a photo of his father hugging a woman he didn't recognize. Who was this woman? And why the hell did Camilla have a photo of my father? It was Tuesday. Vicente was in the office, pretending to work, but actually watching. The camera's on his phone. Camilla stood, Pedro up, holding his little hands. Come on, champion. You can do it. She let go of Camilla's hand and walk. She stepped back 2 paces, crouched down, opened her arms, and Pedro, Vicente's son, took 5 wobbly steps. 5 steps until he fell into her embrace, laughing. Camilla hugged him, crying with joy. You did it. You walked, my love. I'm so proud. Vicente, alone in the office, cried too. But it wasn't just pride, it was pain, because his son's first steps were toward her, not him, because his son smiled at the maid more than at his own father, and because deep down he felt she deserved that moment more than he did. That night, he decided to confront her, the truth he never expected. Vicente called Camilla into the office after Pedro fell asleep. Sit, she sat. Her smile vanished when she saw his serious face. Camilla, I'll be direct. Who are you? How do you talk about my father like you knew him? You have a locket with his photo, and you talk to my son about his mother, his grandfather, like you're part of this family. So I ask, again, who are you? She went pale. You went through my things. It's my house. And the cameras you recorded me. It's still my house. She took a deep breath, eyes filling with tears. I didn't come here to deceive you, Vicente. It was the first time she called him by his name, no sir. Then why did you come? She stood, walked to the window, looked out at the dark garden. Because I made a promise, and I'm not the kind of person who breaks promises. My mother's name was Teresa Santos. Camilla began, her voice trembling. She worked in this house for 5 years as a cleaner when I was a child. I was about 8 or 9. Vicente vaguely remembered to say. Quiet, low-key woman who cleaned his parents' house. My father died in a work accident. My mother was left alone with 3 children. No money, no support, nothing. She got a job here, and it was our salvation. Camilla wiped her tears. Your father, Joaquim, wasn't like the other employers she had. He asked if she'd eaten, paid, more than agreed. At Christmas, he gave grocery baskets and gifts for my brothers. Vicente swallowed. His father had been exactly like that, too generous. Mom always, I said so. One day my mother got sick here, heart problems. Your father didn't just pay for the hospital. He made sure the best doctor operated on her. He saved her life, Vicente. She took the locket off her neck and gave it to him. Teresa, you'll survive. And when you do, I want you to remember there are still good people in the world. Inside, the photo of him with my mom. On her last day here before the surgery. Vicente opened the locket again. Now it made sense. My mother kept it until she died 3 years ago. She made me promise that if I ever could, I would repay his kindness somehow. But my father died too. Vicente said 4 years ago. I know, so I couldn't repay him directly. She turned to him. Then, a year ago, I was working as auxiliary medical staff in a clinic in Miami, and your wife Susanna was hospitalized. Complications from childbirth. Vicente's heart raced. I was one of the auxiliary nurses on shift. She was in bad shape. Vicente, very serious bleeding. Before they took her to emergency surgery, she grabbed my hand and said, "If I don't come back, someone has to take care of my baby. Please." Camilla was crying. I looked at her chart, saw the last name, Almeida, asked if she was related to Joaquim Almeida. She said yes, that she was married to his son. In that moment, I knew it was a sign. She looked him in the report. Eyes. I promised her I would take care, but she didn't survive. She died on the Tain operating table. The stays. Silence. I spent a month wondering if I should find you, afraid you'd think I was crazy, greedy, until I lost my job at the clinic. I saw the ad for a position here, recognized the address because my mother always talked about it, and I thought, now or never. She wiped her face. I didn't come to deceive you. I came to keep 2 promises. The one I made to my mother, to repay your father's kindness, and the one I made to Susanna, to take care of Pedro. Vicente was silent for a full minute, then stood, went to the safe, and pulled out an old wooden box. Inside were his father's letters. He searched and found it. A letter from his father, written 6 months before his death, addressed to him, Vicente. If you're reading this, I'm gone. I want you to know I set up a guaranteed aid fund for Teresa's family, our old cleaner. She was a woman of honor. If her children ever need anything, help them. It's the least we can do for someone who was loyal. With love, his father. He showed the letter to Camilla. She read it and burst into tears. I'm an idiot, Vicente said. You came here to keep a promise, and I treated you like a criminal. I installed cameras, searched your things, suspected every gesture. Forgive me. She shook her head. You were just protecting your son. There's nothing to forgive. The next day, Vicente removed all the cameras and called Camilla back to the phone office. I want to keep my father's promise. And more than that, I want you to stay here, not as a maid, but as part of the family. Pedro needs you, and I need you too. She covered her mouth, touched. I'll increase your salary 5 times. You'll have the best room, a corporate credit, card, health insurance, everything. But, most importantly, you'll be Pedro's aunt, the person he can always count on. Vicente, I don't know what to say. Say, yes. She laughed through tears. Yes. 6 months later, the Almeida mansion is now completely different. There's laughter, music, life. Vicente cut his work hours, learned to play with toy cars, make airplanes out of food, bathe his son without soaking the floor. Pedro is almost 2. He runs through the house calling, Aunt Camilla. She stays there, no longer, cleaning floors, but being the best aunt a child could have. The silver locket now hangs in a frame in the living room next to a photo of Joaquim, Teresa, Susanna, and the whole story that tied these families. Together proof that trust can't be bought, kindness isn't forgotten, and promises made from the heart pass from generation to generation. Vicente, you realized that being a billionaire means nothing if you have no one to trust, and that sometimes the most valuable people in our lives come disguised as maids, carrying lockets and fulfilled promises. If this story touched, you subscribe to the channel. Write in the comments what city you're from and if you ever misjudged someone and later realized you were wrong. Share it with someone who needs to believe there are still good people in the world.